Low Newton Prison is a closed prison for female adults and young offenders in County Durham. It's next door to a prison we have previously covered, Category A Men's Prison, Frankland. Today we look at Low Newton's most notorious former and current inmates. 1. Joanna Dennehy. Joanna Dennehy went on a killing spree for 10 days in Cambridgeshire in 2013. She stated the reasoning behind this killing spree was because she liked how it felt. She had a partner in crime, Gary Richards. She stated her goal was to take the lives of 9 men with his help and for them to be famous like Bonnie and Clyde. She was first arrested in 2012 for theft and then admitted to a hospital for psychiatric treatment. During this time, she was diagnosed with antisocial disorder and obsessive-compulsive disorder. She was released and her first victim of her killing spree was Lucas Slabosawicki. She had met him a few days before and he had told his friends he was going to meet up with his new girlfriend. They were drinking together and then she took him to another house that her landlord owned and blindfolded him. She then got a knife and took his life. She left him in a dumpster. Just 10 days later, she took the life of her housemate, 56-year-old John Chapman. And on the same day, a few hours later, she took the life of her landlord, 48-year-old Kevin Lee, who she had been having an affair with. 47-year-old Gary Richards, who was previously mentioned, and Leslie Layton, aged 36, helped Dennehy transport and dump the victims. Once they had placed the bodies, they drove to Hereford, looking for more people for Dennehy to murder. They came across 2 men who were walking their dogs. Dennehy stabbed one in the shoulder and chest and then stabbed the second man over 40 times. It was only because of quick medical help that these 2 were able to be saved. Kevin Lee's family reported him missing. The police noted Joanna Dennehy as a person of interest and they soon arrested her. She laughed when she was taken into police custody. While waiting for her trial, they found her diary and a plan of how to escape by attacking a police officer, so she was held in solitary confinement. Gary Richards was sentenced to life imprisonment with a min term of 19 years and Leslie Layton got 14 years. Joanna Dennehy was given life in prison with a whole life order. While in Bronzeville prison, she met girlfriend Hayley Palmer, who was inside for robbery. The lovers tried to take their lives in a failed pact. Hayley Palmer has since left prison, and Joanna Dennehy was moved to Low Newton in 2019 because of her aggressive behaviour. Very shortly after arriving in Low Newton prison, Joanna Dennehy threatened to take the life of fellow serial killer Rose West. Rose West was moved due to concerns about her safety. It's reported that Joanna Dennehy is now dating Emma Aiken, who we will cover in this video. Joanna Dennehy remains in Low Newton prison. 2. Bernadette McNeely. 16-year-old Suzanne Capper had spent time babysitting Glyn Powell's 3 children before and had stayed at his house overnight. In December 1992, 16-year-old Suzanne entered the house. When entering, she was grabbed by 16-year-old Anthony Dodson and Glyn Powell. They shaved her head and her eyebrows and made her clean it up and then beat her. She was then moved to the house of 24-year-old Bernadette McNeely, who was supposed to be Suzanne's friend. The prolonged amount of things that this group did to Suzanne is unimaginable, and before a session would start, McNeely would say, "Chucky's coming to play," from the group's favourite movie. On December 14th, they forced Suzanne into a car and took her to a woods in Stockport. She had petrol thrown over her and then they set her alight, with Bernadette McNeely sickly singing "Burn, Baby Burn." They left and Suzanne managed to crawl enough to where a driver spotted her. Suzanne suffered 80% burns on her body and died in hospital on December 18th, 1992. She was strong enough to give the names of the 6 people involved in her abduction and torture. The 6 people named were arrested, and it was found that the motivation for this sick crime included a row over a pink duffel coat and head lice. All 6 got sentences between 15 and 25 years. Bernadette McNeely was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment with a min term of 25 years. This was reduced by 1 year in 2013 upon appeal. She served her time at Low Newton Prison. But in 1996, letters were uncovered which revealed McNeely had been having an affair with the prison governor, Mike Martin. The married officer resigned his position before disciplinary action could be taken. McNeely was sharing a wing with Rosemary West and Myra Hindley, but was immediately transferred to Newhall Prison. Of the 6 people that were sentenced for the murder of Suzanne, all 6 are now free. McNeely was paroled in 2015, being described as a model prisoner. 3. Tracy Connelly. Tracy Connelly was convicted of deliberately attacking her son Peter Connelly, who was nicknamed Baby P by the media. The case shocked the media as well as the British government because of how severe Peter's injuries were. Stephen Barker was Tracy Connelly's partner, and he was given the longest sentence related to baby Peter's death. He received a min prison term of 12 years. He also received a 10-year sentence for R-ing a 2-year-old girl in a separate case. He still remains in prison. Jason Owen, Barker's older brother, moved into the home with a 15-year-old girl just a few weeks before baby P's death. He was in his late 30s at the time. He received a min 3-year sentence connected to baby P's death. Peter's injuries had gone unnoticed by child welfare officers. Tracy Connelly was convicted of causing or allowing the death of 17-month-old Peter and was jailed in 2009. She was sentenced to an indefinite imprisonment with a min term of 5 years to be served and was immediately sent to Low Newton Prison. She was released from Low Newton Prison in 2013 but later recalled after breaching her parole conditions in 2015. She remained inside for another 6 years. She received a second parole in 2022 and is currently free. 4. Emma Aiken. Barry Smith had an argument with Vincent Aiken's wife and Emma Aiken's mother, which made her resign from Kilburn Welfare Social Club. His body was then found outside of the social club. Vincent Aiken, his daughter Emma Aiken, and her 19-year-old boyfriend Nathan Doherty got revenge and took Barry Smith's life. Emma Aiken was found guilty alongside the others and sentenced to life with a min term for 12 years for the murder of Barry Smith. She was first held at Bronzefield Prison but was deemed too risky to be kept at that location and was moved to Low Newton Prison. She is Joanna Dennehy's girlfriend. The 25-year-old remains in Low Newton Prison. 5. Lucy Letby. Lucy Letby is the most prolific child killer in British history, convicted of killing 7 infants and attempting to murder another 6 while working as a nurse. Letby was handed 14 whole life orders after her trial at Manchester Crown Court. She refused to attend her sentencing. Letby was transferred from Bronzefield Prison to Low Newton and immediately placed in solitary confinement and placed on a watch. Medication errors were initially blamed for the children's deaths. However, further investigation shows Lucy Letby was responsible. The British government has commissioned an independent inquiry into the circumstances surrounding the murders, and she remains, like she will for the rest of her life, in Low Newton Prison. 6. Rose West. Serial killer Rose West collaborated with her husband Fred West in the murder of at least 9 young women between 1973 and 1987. She also murdered her 8-year-old stepdaughter Charmaine in 1971. Rose West and Fred West were given whole life orders. Fred took his own life. Rose was held at Bronzefield Prison and was then moved to Low Newton. She served her time predominantly there, but Joanna Dennehy and another inmate made threats to her life, so she was moved to Newhall, where the 70-year-old remains. 7. Barbara Salsbury. In Leighton Hospital, Barbara Salsbury worked as a nurse and had an open disdain of elderly near end of life taking up beds on the wards. On the 23rd of March 2002, 88-year-old May Taylor died. 2 other nurses made a complaint about Barbara Salsbury's conduct. She was suspended and an investigation was launched. She was then arrested on suspicion of the attempted murder of 2 patients. The second patient was 92-year-old Frank Owen. She told nurses to lay him on his back so his lungs will fill with fluid and he would die. She injected him with medication even though he showed no signs of pain. She was found guilty of the attempted murders of May Taylor, aged 88, and Frank Owen, 92, in March 2002. She was sentenced to 5 years. She served her sentence at Low Newton and was released. This is a divided case. Some people believe there may be many more patients, but there is also calls that is a miscarriage of justice. During the court case, Barbara's defense team put it to the jury that the whole case came about from gossip, which had spiraled out of control. It was clear, for whatever reason, Barbara was not liked on the ward. 8. Sharon Carr. At age 12, Sharon Carr murdered 18-year-old Katie Ratcliffe after picking her out at random as she walked home from a nightclub in Camberley. The murder initially went unsolved until June 1994, when Carr attacked and stabbed another pupil at school for no apparent reason. She then repeatedly boasted about the murder to friends and family, and also made diary entries that were found. She was convicted of the murder in 1997. She was ordered to serve at least 14 years imprisonment, but remains imprisoned long after her min-term expired due to her disruptive behaviour in prison. She has continued to regularly attack and attempt to kill staff members and fellow inmates. She has also expressed her desire to kill others. She first served her time at Holloway Prison. She then spent some time in Broadmoor Hospital. In 2018, she was moved to Low Newton Prison, but was quickly moved back to Bronzefield after a violent incident with another inmate in August 2019. She appealed to the parole board for release, but the decision is said to be made next month. Thanks for watching. Until next time.